What's up guys, welcome back to my garage. This week I'm going to be working on removing the tank and the carburetors on the XS1100 over here. I am approaching, I want to get the engine out so I can paint it, clean it up, put new gaskets in, and start reassembling the bike. So let's just hop right into it. Alright, so first off, apologize for any buzzing noise in the background. My AC right up there is running. It's hot today, so that's going to be in the background. But yeah, so now let's talk about the XS1100. So I've already had the tank off because I was kind of playing around with looking at, how it is inside and if it needs to be rust removal or anything. And it looks pretty good, but I'm going to do another look at that once I get working on that project. But I've already had it off, and I've already kind of taken this stuff apart a little bit. But what you have here is a tank bolt. I'm just going to remove that. And then there's two petcocks. There's one on this side and one on the other side. And those have hoses that run off from the carb, I think right here, and they kind of crisscross. One goes to this side goes to the other side of the bike, and the other one on the other side comes to this side of the bike. If I remember correctly, I did that a long time ago, but yeah, so this tank's gonna come right off, so yeah, let's just do that. All right, so let's talk about this tank a little bit. So at the top, we have the locking mechanism, which you can see here is kind of beat up. I'm gonna have to clean this up pretty good. Not a big deal though. I mean, the chrome looks pretty good. I might paint this black, we'll see. I might keep it chrome. Either way, I'm gonna have to clean it and polish it. So that works by just, when this has a hinge on it, and when it hinges down, this gasket seals the tank. So this pretty crudded up, needs to be cleaned, but that's how that works. It seals the hole right here. So temporarily, since I've had this off, to keep any dust, debris, or anything going in there, I just put a rubber glove over it. This bracket is held on with these little screws here and a washer, and there's 4 spots there, and that bolts into the tank body here. And then this latches right here, and that's how that all operates. With the key for the ignition also operates that to open that. So again, all this just needs to be cleaned up, polished, possibly painted. Here we have the tank. You can see all this rust in here. Obviously water can pool in there, so over 40 years it's just kind of gotten beat up. So I got to figure out how I'm going to clean this up really well. I'm hoping just with paint remover and some rust remover, I should be able to clean that up pretty good. Inside the tank, I don't know if you can't really see, but it's not too bad. There's some rust spots, but I think if I get some like evapor rust and dump it in there and swish it around for a day or two, should get all that cleaned out. I don't think I have much to worry about. This bike was constantly started and always had fresh fuel in it, so it should be in pretty good shape. Alright, so let's go underneath now. So underneath we have this. This, I believe, is the gas gauge, and I think it operates as like a temperature sensor. I think it's called like a thermocoupler or something like that. But basically how this works is this is wired in, and the fuel causes it to be like a little cooler. So when there's more fuel in there, that's how it detects that you have fuel. I don't know, something like that. So hopefully this still works. I'm not sure, probably does, but we'll find out. I'm gonna take that apart, clean it, and take a look at that. One thing that was weird about this bike that I've never had on any of my previous bikes is that it has dual petcocks on both sides. And they don't have like a off position. It's either reservoir, on, or prime. So I guess previous owner would just leave it in the reservoir. I don't know. I think these are vacuum assisted or something. I'm not 100% sure. So we'll take those out eventually too when I get to the tank portion of this project. Take all this apart, strip it down. I'm gonna repaint it black. Do a paint job myself, everything. So yeah, so that's basically the tank. So I just wanted to show that to you in case you were wondering about it. But that's just gonna be set to the side until later, until further notice. So we'll put our glove back on. Bracket there, don't lose any of those screws. And finally this. And this will get set aside on my other workbench. Alright, let's talk carburetor. So obviously the tank sits up here. These are the rubber mounts that mount the front. It slips on there. and then it's bolted down, and that's pretty much how the tank sits on here. The one thing you have to do, like I said, was disconnect some hoses from the petcocks. So these, I believe, are the vacuum lines that go to the petcock. There's one on each side. So I think that opens and closes it as the carburetor's pulling fuel and pulling air. It creates a suction which opens the petcock, which allows the fuel. I think that's why it doesn't need blah blah blah. It's not gravity fed, it's vacuum assisted. Not 100% on that, but I believe that's how that works, and that's why there's a second hose going to the petcocks. Then we have the fuel lines here, and this is the fuel line from the right side of the carb, and this goes to the left petcock, and then this one is the left side of the carbs, and that goes to the right petcock. So it's like a crisscross for the carb fed. So the right petcock feeds the left bank, and the left side of the tank feeds the right bank of the carbs. But that's not that important right now because we just want to get these suckers out so we can clean them and go through them, figure out what jets we're going to use, because I am going to remove this air box completely and run pod filters. Oh no, pods! But yeah, that's what's going to happen. So down here, this whole section is the air box, and it goes back here, etc. So this splits at the bottom, and there's 4 washer or wing nuts under there. Let's see if you can see under. See those wing nuts? That's what keeps the bottom connected to this. So what we need to do is finger loosen those and pull that portion out, and that'll pull the air filter out. Then what else? Let's see, we have this bolt right here holds this side of the air box on, and then obviously it's mirrored. We have another bolt right here on the right side that holds the air box on as well, so those will come out. And then up top, this bolt connects a bracket that connects there, and there's also a ground wire here, so do a little wiring. Then we got to disconnect these air lines. I think these are engine breathers. Just basically disconnect stuff until it comes off. Oh, and then we got to take off the rubber gaskets that connect to the intake side of the carburetor. So that's going to be some, brackets here, and there should be 4 of those all the way through. So it's kind of a fussy job to get this out. But really what we need to do is loosen this so we can drop it down, pull the carb out, pull that out, then we can pull this out. So it's a lot of stuff. Yeah. All right, well, here I'm gonna go in time lapse and do that. Okay, so the carb's out. You can see big hole right through, nice window through. So other thing I need to do is pull these, what do you call them, intake boots off. These are really cracked, so I'm probably gonna get new ones. I think they're still okay internally and they're still sealing, but I'm doing all this work, I might as well get new ones. So we'll see how much those cost. If they're outrageous, maybe I'll reuse these, but probably gonna replace them because these look pretty old and weathered and cracked. Airbox came out, everything was like I said. So again, you have that bolt here, and you had a bolt here and another one mirrored over on that side right there. You disconnect that after first removing the under pan that holds the fuel filter. And yeah, then the airbox bracket kind of goes on top of this. So what you want to do is like push it forward and pull it down and get it to slide under here. And then the whole thing should just drop once you have all the bolts out. Then you have enough clearance to remove your carburetor, pull that out, and then the airbox can come out. And here is our airbox. And sorry for the focusing, the camera's not liking this today. So again, here's those 4 wing nuts on the bottom. And once you undo those, this whole bottom piece comes off with the air filter. Got a rubber gaskets, and you gotta undo these, and then slide them off, and everything should come. These are really supple and nice, so. This bike I think was decently taken care of. But yeah, there's your airbox, so I'm not gonna reuse this. This will probably be on eBay and sometime in the future. But yeah, all good to go, ready to rock. So next I'm gonna be removing these intake boots, and then, yeah, cleaning up the carb. And then we gotta start figuring out how to get this engine out of here so I can paint it and clean it and put new head gasket in because I think that's leaking oil. So let's move forward. All right, so next up I'm gonna remove these intake boots. I already took one off. This was sitting like so. So that's gonna come off. It's basically just 2 5mm Allens that hold each boot on. And then there's like a paper gasket too, so I'll have to clean that up. But yeah, gonna do that real quick, so here we go. All right, we got the carbs removed. Actually, they're on, I think they were recently serviced by the previous owner. I was kind of just looking at them. Everything kind of came off really easily. Like I wasn't experiencing anything that's been like stuck for 30 years. So I think these were, and since it was running, I'm gonna guess they were recently serviced. Everything inside, internally looks pretty clean. Butterflies all operate nicely. So I don't think this needs too much work. I'm probably just gonna need to rejet it. I'm still gonna probably open it up and just give it a good cleaning on the outside. Got some carb cleaner over here. So yeah, so here we've got the two fuel line hoses, and those connect, where is that? Down to this bank, or this nipple here, and this nipple here are where the fuel lines go. And again, this one goes this way, and this one goes that way, and they connect to opposite petcocks. These upper nipples here are the breather lines that also go into the, I think they go into the petcocks. I'm not sure 100% actually, but I think they go into the petcocks and they help the, I think they operate the petcock. But other than that, there wasn't much to it. This is your idle adjustment. Diaphragms are probably up here, floats down here. So yeah, I'm just gonna clean this up really good now and set it aside. Alright, so these carbs are all cleaned up now. I mean, as good as I can. I don't have an ultrasonic cleaner here, so the best I can do is kind of give them a good bath and then clean up whatever pieces I can remove. So I took this rail off, polished that, or hit it with the wire wheel, cleaned it off, cleaned these bowls off. Inside the bowls wasn't too bad. There's a little bit of varnish buildup, but no junk, no crud. Obviously this bike was running before I started taking it apart, so was working, so I just had to clean out whatever little varnish had built up from probably just sitting in my garage. So they were pretty good. The one thing I did find is these gaskets are dried out and pretty much done. A couple of them actually shredded on me, so I got to order a new set of float bowl gaskets. So I'm going to do that. I left one in there that was in decent shape just so I can see the orientation when I get my new ones. But yeah, I got to swap those out. Up top, the diaphragms were in great shape. Everything works good. As you can see, the needles all do their thing and seat pretty well. So I mean, this car was in fine shape. It just needed a good bath and clean up on the top here, which I did with a wire wheel. Wiped the bowls pretty good, cleaned down that bottom rail, sprayed everything else with carb cleaner, and just kind of scrubbed it with brushes and just gave her a good bath. You can see again, the butterflies all actuate nicely. So yeah, I wrote down down here, I wrote down the different jets that I'm going to need to look at and decide which ones. I got to do some research and figure out what guys have used to run pod filters on here. So I'm going to get all that taken care of. But in the meantime, this is cleaned up, good to go. I'm going to set it to the side now and move forward with pulling the engine. Probably not going to pull the motor today. Actually, I know I'm not going to pull the motor today because it's heavy and I need help. So, but I'm going to take a look at it and just kind of figure out where I'm going to go from there. So that's how you remove the carbs on here and give them a good bath. As far as a full rebuild, I'm not doing a video on that because these are functioning. I might later we'll do a video when I change the needles out and do pods and stuff. All right, so here we have the intake boots, and you can see, and this goes for all of them, but they're all pretty cracked on the exterior, but the interior is actually in perfect shape on all of them. So
I don't think any of these have any leaks, or there isn't really any issues. I'm gonna check eBay, see how much a new set of these would cost. If it's like 20 bucks, I'll get it. Either way, I have to get new paper gaskets, so got to figure that out. But if a new set with gaskets is only like 20 bucks, I'll probably just replace them. I do remember on my CD750 they were like 100 bucks, so if it's that much, I might just reuse them, and then, you know, find some paper gaskets or create my own or something along those lines. You know, other than that, just cleaned up all the bolts and stuff for that. So I mean, other than that, everything looks pretty good. So these are gonna be set to the side until I can figure out what I'm doing, if I'm getting new ones or not. Let's go take a look at the bike. So over here, you can see now pretty much the whole fuel system's gone. So really all we got left now is the engine. I just disconnected the clutch cable, which feeds down into here. So what you do is you take these two screws off to get in there. God, come on, focus, buddy. So what you do is you take these two screws out to pop this plate off, and then the clutch cable runs down here and connects via like a, what do you call it? Like a little hoop thing, kind of like a throttle cable would connect up top. So what you got to do is there's like a little thing you bend, and then you can just undo the clutch cable and pull it right out. So I did that, put that together. So pretty much nothing's really attached to this motor anymore that's attached to the bike other than the engine mount bolts and the drive shaft. So I just got to disconnect the drive shaft, take these brackets here off, and I should be able to pull the engine. Again, I'm going to need somebody's help, so I might call my brother-in-law or a friend or something to come over here and give me a hand with that. But yeah, this engine's almost ready to come out, and then I'll, you know, power wash it, clean it, scrape it, wire wheel it, get it ready for paint, and then probably going to paint it like a matte black engine color or something like that. We'll figure that out later, but yeah. Progress is there. The bike's becoming a skeleton again. So this is where I'm going to cut it on this episode. I got to go inside and do some stuff the rest of my weekend. But thanks for watching. Hit like and subscribe. Drop me some comments if you have any questions, concerns, things you want to tell me down below. Appreciate you watching and following. Thanks. Peace.